Welcome to Stoner Watch, Mandalorian Season 2, Chapter 14, The Tragedy is Here. Stoner Watch, a YouTube story, men and women t-shirts, now available on teespring.com. Help support the show by getting yours today. I'll have a link down in the description. Okay, it's week 6 of Mandalorian Season 2, Chapter 14, The Tragedy. Written by Jon Favreau and directed by Rodrigues. Now, we have a runtime of 34 minutes. Now, without getting to heavy spoilers right off the bat, I wanted to say I did like this episode a lot. Unfortunately, it's the shortest one we've gotten so far this season, but it is what it is as far as that goes. Now, it was pretty action-packed, and we got to see a couple familiar faces that proved that my fan theory from last season was correct. Check out the video if you don't believe me. And an iconic spaceship makes its triumph return, which was totally awesome in my book. Now, this week's ranking, I'm going to say that Favreau and Filoni are tied for first. Rodrigues comes in to take the number 2 spot this week, and Howard and Weathers kind of go back and forth with the number 3 spot, followed by Reed. I do like his episode, but it is so far the weakest one of this season, I have to say. Now, I have really liked what we've gotten so far this season. It's a canon / old EU junkies dream come true. I mean, Cobb Vanth, Boba Fett, Bo-Katan, Ahsoka Tano, 3 out of 4 characters I never thought we'd see in live action. A quick recap of last week's Chapter 13. Mando and the child travel to the planet Corvus in search of the Jedi Ahsoka Tano. After locating her, we find out the child's name is Grogu. He was raised and trained at the Jedi Temple on Coruscant before the Clone Wars. After helping Ahsoka free the town Calodan from the grip of Morgan Elsbeth, a Clone Wars refugee turned Imperial Starfleet bureaucrat that plunder worlds for their resources and somehow is or was connected to Grand Admiral Thrawn. Ahsoka refuses to train Grogu due to his strong attachment to the Mandalorian, but telling Mando there might be one more possibility. Take him to the planet Tython, where there's an ancient ruined Jedi temple. Place him on the Seeing Stone to hopefully connect with another Jedi. Now, that being said, I'm heading into spoilers for Chapter 14. Man, I think Rodrigues just crushed it this episode, especially since I just saw an article saying he was the last-minute replacement for another director. Some are speculating maybe James Mangold. That was a total bummer on the runtime, but only really noticed it when it was suddenly over. Now, Mando and Grogu make it to the planet Tython with no trouble, at least until they get there, but I'll get to more on that in a moment. Now, I thought it was really cute how Mando kept saying Grogu's name just to see him react, and him playing catch with Grogu via the Force with the chrome ball, and how proud he seemed to be that Grogu could do it. And I thought it was funny as hell because I was just talking to someone on Facebook about him doing the very same thing just like that. And I have to say, one of my favorite things this season has to be all the bonding moments between Din Djarin and Grogu. They show how close they have become and how hard it will be for the both of them when the time comes for him to leave, if he does. I really can't see this show continuing without the relationship between Mando and Grogu. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree or disagree. Like I said before, they reach Tython with no trouble, but shortly after they get there and Grogu is sitting on the Seeing Stone and Mando, still not totally understanding how the Force works, is looking for a control panel, a ship arrives overhead, and that ship is Slave One. That's right, Boba Fett's iconic spaceship we first see in Empire Strikes Back has returned and is being piloted by Boba Fett himself. He's also traveling with Fennec Shand, the assassin shot in the gut and left for dead in the sands of Tatooine from Chapter 5, The Gunslinger. With the help of Boba Fett, she has survived. Now, is it just me, or does her abdomen kind of look like Luke Skywalker's wrist from Empire Strikes Back? At least that's what I thought of when I first saw it. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought. Grogu does reach out with the Force and the Seeing Stone activates. He is then surrounded by, for the lack of better words, some kind of a Force shield. I don't know how else to describe it, but it seems like it radiates energy out as well as up. Just getting close to Grogu seems to take a lot of effort. And when Mando does try to grab him to leave, he is thrown back forcefully. He does this like 2 more times throughout the rest of the show. One time it actually knocks him out. But when Mando decides to do what he can, he says he'll go try to buy them some time and to please hurry it up.
That's not how the Force works. Oh, really? You're cold?
Now, when I heard him say that, I was like, dude, it's not like he's making a phone call. But, he doesn't really understand how the Force really works. I mean, hell, we're still learning stuff even now after 40 years, right? Now, I had to say both of the Boba Fett fight scenes, the one with the bantha stick and the one with his armor, were totally badass. I mean, totally badass. I mean, the one with the bantha stick was so awesome and so brutal. I mean, I never saw, like, stormtrooper armor peel back like that. That was just something else. And when he shows up with his armor back on, he shows why he's like the best bounty hunter in the universe. I mean, anybody says he was a chump. I mean, Han Solo got lucky. I mean, Really, he just got lucky. Now, there was like an article or news report saying that Boba Fett was going to get his own standalone Disney Plus series. And after this, I say, yeah, I want to see that. I definitely want to see that because at first I was like, I don't know, man. But after seeing this episode, I definitely would like to see a Boba Fett standalone Disney Plus series because I want to know, how did he get out of the Sarlacc? What happened after he got out of the Sarlacc? What has he been doing like the last 5 years? I mean, because we just saw him a couple episodes ago and he was like walking around the desert sands of Tatooine. And next thing you know, he's flying to a whole nother planet in Slave One. Was he always having access to that? I mean, there's so many questions by him showing up, and it was so cool for him to show up in this episode. We find out so much. We find out that Jango Fett was a foundling, actually fought in some kind of Mandalorian civil wars. So he's actually a Mandalorian. So Din Djarin is actually, again, forced to confront another different version of a Mandalorian that he did not know exists, because technically Jango and Boba are Mandalorians, but they don't really swear to a certain creed, you know? Now, after Boba Fett takes out both of the troop transports...
Nice shot. I was aiming for the other one.
Moff Gideon's like, oh yeah? Hold my beer. A laser shot fires down from the sky and it blows up the Razor Crest. Now, when this happens, man, I was like, no way, you can't. I mean, now it's gone. There's like nothing left. Now, like towards the end of the episode when he's like picking through the wreckage, the only thing he was able to find was that chrome silver ball that Grogu loves so much and the best car, bow staff. So that's like all he's got left of that ship. That's just such a bummer, man. That is such a bummer. I wonder what they're going to do about that. It was pretty cool to finally see Dark Troopers in action when Moff Gideon deploys them to go get Grogu down on the planet, though they seem more like droid than anything else. So maybe that's just me, or maybe they're like some kind of like General Grievous like type thing, but just more droid than, I don't know. Let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. So Moff Gideon now has Grogu. Now, I thought it was kind of funny when Gideon goes to visit Grogu in his detention cell, and Grogu is just sitting there throwing a couple stormtroopers around like rag dolls. Now, that was hilarious to watch. Now, I don't understand why he had to bring out the Darksaber and like, hey, look what I got. I mean, that didn't really make much sense to me. Maybe it's just me. After Boba Fett and Fennec Shen pledged to help Mando get the Chow back, we head to Navarro, and we find out that medal that Captain Tevye gave Dune was a New Republic Marshal badge. Mando asked Dune to check the criminal database for a sharpshooter last name Mayfield. Now, that's Bill Burr's character from Chapter 6, The Prisoner from Season 1. When she asked him why, he was like, because I got to spring him because he's going to help me find Gideon's light cruiser. She said, this badge makes me, I got to follow rules. Mando says, he has the kid. So that's where we're at. The call is out there, and we're waiting to see who's going to answer. Moff Gideon has Grogu, and Mando and crew have to go get him. Now we're down to the last 2 episodes of this season, which is a total bummer, but I just can't wait to see what happens next. Now, Rick Famuyiwa is written next week, and most likely will end up directing as well. I wonder who they're going to get to close this thing out in 2 weeks, but just for now, we'll have to look forward to next week first. So let me know what you think in the comments down below.